Imagine you are a young kid, let's say 7 years old. You wake up early every Saturday morning, practice night after night with hopes of one day making it to the majors. By some miracle, you manage to make it to high school, injury free, and you now have every Division One school in the nation at your doorstep. You earn a full scholarship to your dream school of choice and arrive on campus as a freshman, earning a spot as a starter. You have had an amazing 3 years, and every major sports agency is expecting you to go number one overall in the draft pick. The last game of your senior year, you break your femur bone, and every chance of ever playing sports again is over. What do you do next? What do you have to show for all of your years of hard work? How much money in those 4 years has the NCAA put into your bank account? Let me answer that for you. The answer is absolutely nothing. The NCAA is a multi-billion-dollar organization. We are entertained by these athletes year-round, according to ESPN, a well-known sports broadcasting company that brings in approximately $100 million in ticket sales alone. Whether you are into basketball, football, or tennis, college sports has made its way into you or your family's lives somehow. Yet fewer than 2% of NCAA student athletes will ever get the chance to make it to the majors. Not knowing the risks and harms these young athletes put their bodies through every time they step on a field to play, we so greatly take them for granted. Most college players will suffer from broken bones, torn muscles, concussions, and other life threatening injuries. Not to mention that these athletes have to balance student life also. From spending hours in the classroom, going to practice, and having to fit time in for homework, to most this would seem an impossible task. This is why today my hope is not only to persuade you on why college students should be paid for their contributions, but to share some insight on what these young women and men go throughout their athletic careers. Let's begin with their early childhood stage. This will give us an idea of the preparation, obstacles, and risks that a college athlete must overcome at such a young age. The average athlete begins showing interest in their sport of choice around the age of 6, with hopes of one day playing professionally. Youth sports has been proven to provide several health benefits for young children. This includes lowering the risk of obesity. Children also form lifelong friendships and learn what it means to be a part of something bigger than themselves. However, the goals and motivations that a child develops becomes quickly tarnished by adults who then turn a child's fun into a job. Athletes are being monitored by universities as young as early as the 7th grade. This forces a young athlete to follow professional models of development that are unrealistic and over demanding. The excessive demands lead to a variety of psychological and physical issues. In a study conducted by Dr. Menaker Crocher, an experienced orthopedic surgeon, results showed an increased injury risk for boys who specialize in baseball or gymnastics. Children don't go on to make it to the college. Children who don't go on to make it to the college level are to deal with their depression, wondering if there was something they could have done differently to increase their chances, when in reality, there is simply not enough spots on a team's roster for every great player. So now that we have taken a look at how the NCAA psychologically and physically ruins a child's life in the early stage, let's take a look into what athletes deal with in their college careers. The average student athlete spends more time on the field than the actual classroom. The average student athlete will spend about 40 hours a week on games and other activities dealing with their sport. According to the NCAA, college athletes suffer an overall estimate of 12,000 a year in injuries. And depending on that injury, athletes could also have to pay out-of-pocket co-pays, deductibles, or any other medical expenses dealing with their injuries. In addition to, some athletes even have to pay for school tuition, thus leaving students having to get a job in order to cover for these expenses. And being a student athlete, you still need money to pay for food, clothes, and other necessities. This is why the NCAA should be paying these young athletes. Not only would it help the student athlete financially, but they would also have a little extra time to dedicate to their sport. Naysayers might argue that students shouldn't be paid because it is not their job to play sports, but an extracurricular activity played while they are pursuing their degree. The argument that I would make in response to this is that most students who don't make it professionally leave college before receiving their pursued degree and lack motivation in returning due to not making it professionally. Now let's discuss how we would go about paying these players. Because I know some of you here today would ask, well, how do you suggest about going about paying these students? And I have a great answer for that question. I propose that the NCAA implement a payment plan that would be added into a student's financial aid. Disbursement of this financial aid will be calculated based on many factors. Most profits from college athletics do not go toward a student's academics. One factor would be the success of an organization. Of course, a school that is more successful would bring in more funds, giving the student more financial aid. Another big factor will be the type of sport being played. Basketball and football, of course, will bring in more money. Something like tennis that is not normally played by the average athlete will bring in less, of course. On the other hand of things, I wouldn't suggest giving the students hourly pay, because students would then be forced to go with the highest bidder instead of going with the school that they actually want to attend. In conclusion, it is our responsibility as fans to ensure that these players are being treated fairly. After all, it is us that they are entertaining and working hard for. We, the people, have power over these organizations, because without us, viewers, there will be no way for them to make money. So let's not take these extraordinary players for granted and give them the compensation that they too desperately deserve. Thank you.